Hey, yeah, what's up? This is Disciple Marcello Curtis up in this rain, back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-telepathy all day, anti-America all day, anti-cop all day, and everybody with him, yeah. So, this message has been one in the making, or one that I wanted to do a while ago. And it basically, it's about um, Africans and African Americans that are hounds and hunters for racist white people. Africans and African Americans that are hounds and hunters for white racist people. This is just for racist white people, addressing them, and the black people they use, or Africans they use, to infiltrate other Africans that they're trying to defeat. I don't know if y'all seen that young, I think she was African American, female, about mid 20s, about 8 years ago. She had like writing on her forehead that she had nigger on her forehead. She was affiliated with racist white people. Yeah. She's gonna be kind of like the. I'm gonna look her up and I'm gonna probably put her as the avatar on this video. She's gonna be kind of like the poster girl for this kind of for this message. There are people that racist white people use in their army. They're black, they're African, and they're other colors. But I particularly, the greatest contrast would be African and African American. So that's what I'm going with to talk about. They use them like hounds to search out other African Americans and Africans, to infiltrate other Africans and African Americans. They use the white supremacists use other Africans and African Americans to be their eyes and ears against the Africans they're trying to beat. And these African Americans they're using could care less if you die. They could care less if you live or die. They don't care nothing about you. They would kill you themselves. This is the times we live in. For all you innocent white people who are nice and good and sweet, understand something. It's a lot going on out here that you don't know about. And you need to do deep research about all the different affairs of America, all the different operations of America, because the military also does this too. They infiltrate black people using other black people. I've been through it. They use other Africans to infiltrate you, and you don't even know it. If you and you're just sitting up there thinking, brother this, brother that, sister this, sister that, and you're being infiltrated. See, this is how smart I am. You can't infiltrate me. I allow you to come into my layer. I allow you to come in. Because guess what's going to happen? I know that you're going to leave with bad karma. Yeah, I'm worse than a witch. I'm worse than a warlock. You come playing around me, you're going to leave with a curse. Oh, you can come on here. You can come on. You'll leave with a curse. Look at your life. Look at your country. Yeah, I'll let you. I invite you in. I'll feed you, bathe you. I do all that. And when you walk away, you're cursed. It's biblical. I'm not a witch. I'm not a warlock. It's worse repercussions, in other words, and real repercussions. So all these people driving around where I'm at, they cursed. They don't know it yet. They expected to zap them, like zap. I'm cursed. It doesn't work like that. you'll slowly look into your life. You'll look at your life and you'll see misfortune after misfortune after misfortune. Oh, and and some of you are going to get a big misfortune, and it's over. That's why I tell people you can play with those hoodlums out there, those thugs, and those gangsters. You can go play with them, but us spiritual people, we're at the top of the food chain. You come playing around here, you're gonna lose. You're gonna have so much misfortune that life ain't gonna be worth living for you. This is the kind of spirituality I'm on. I can't speak for people that just sit back and let people punch them in the face and and beat them down and everything. No, I don't know. I'm a prophet. I'm a prophet of God. You see what Elijah did to kids in the Bible? He cursed 42 children and they were killed. If a preacher or a prophet did that these days, y'all would be saying, "Oh, that person's crazy. We gotta lock him up. We gotta put him away." That's what Prophet Elijah did. It's biblical. So anyway, back to the lecture at hand. We're talking about the those who hunt black people that are black and they're black, and they're doing it on the behalf of racist white people, hunters, racist hunters. They're like hunters. A lot of them are from the South, Texas, all those kind of places. You know, they love to hunt. Florida and Texas. And they'll use black people to hunt you, to infiltrate you. You cannot trust anybody in America. Today, these are the last days. You can't trust nobody. Talking about brother this and sister that, and you're being infiltrated by literal white supremacists. That's why I move the way I move. See, I can explain mine. Now, the hate that you have, the negativity that you carry, you can't explain it. I can explain why I carry myself the way I do, why I don't trust nobody. Because these white supremacists are literally using black people to go infiltrate other black people. Right now. You can't trust them. You can't trust no black people like that. In America, everybody's out to the dollar bill. Long as that dollar bill is out there, you can't trust nobody. These people will infiltrate you, go back and tell other people all kind of information, what's going on, all kind of situations. I'm not ignorant of that. I just sit back because I know what's going to happen to them. They come around here playing, you come in here, you're not going to be the same when you leave. You come playing around me, you won't be the same. Look at your country. If you think I'm playing, if you think I'm something to play with. It's some people that in history, on the spiritual side, you just can't play with them. Like, okay, for example, I'm gonna do a video about this too. There's like the spiritual, the voodoo, what people call the voodoo queen. I think her name was Marie Laveau. I gotta look up her actual last name, but it was the first was Marie. Then you had Dr. Buzzard from South Carolina. Dr. Buzzard was a voodoo warlock, and he went toe to toe with the police. When his son died, he called a truce with the police. This is real history, by the way. You could look up the Queen of Voodoo, and her name starts with Marie, and I think it's Laveau, I think like that. Marie Laveau. But if you look up Queen of Voodoo and see Marie, you'll see the last name. But they were high ranking on the dark side. A lot of Christians, you don't even know the Americans here that were high ranking on the dark side. And this inspires me to be more high, to be more spiritual on this side, on the light side. Because we have more power than they do. I'm gonna do a video on both of them. I just think it's good history to know. Because you're in the spiritual world. You need to know your enemies. You need to know what they did in here in America. You don't need to be walking around blind. And some of you need to know so you can see what you're up against. And also to see what you are not. A lot of you are not that spiritual. You think you are, but you're not that spiritual. Okay? If you were so spiritual, how are you sitting up here with 40 states having sex with children and you don't even know it? That's for both sides. You got so much intuition, how come you didn't know that? That's for both sides, dark side and light side. You so spiritual, how come you didn't know 12 states passed laws that allows adults to marry children a year before COVID? And now we got a whole full-blown disease because I believe that brought a curse on the country. See, I'm up there with them. I'm up there with the Dr. Buzzards and the Marie. I'm up there with them. Except I'm on God's side. But if you play with me, I will make sure you will pay dearly. More than you plan on paying. And it's already proven. Since I've been here in New York, there's been a flash flood. Do you know in the history of New York, they've never had a flash flood? Go check. There hasn't been a flash flood in New York since not in the 1960s, the 1970s, all those good years, the 1980s, the 1990s, the 2000s, the early 2000s, first decade of 2000, 2010 to 2020. Only until last year, 2021, has there ever been a flash flood, and it's been since I've been going toe-to-toe with this darkness that's here in this country. Yeah, go check the history of New York. Go check it. They have never had a flash flood in record-keeping history. Yeah, you want to ignore that because you're not spiritual. If you were spiritual, you would realize, that never happened before. All of a sudden, this person comes here, and we're playing around this person, and this happens. They can't see. To be spiritual is not only spiritual power. You have to have spiritual sight. You have to have spiritual eyes. You can't just say, oh, I got spiritual power, and I can do this, but you can't spiritually see. And that's where you lose me. I can see better than you can see spiritually. I can tell you exactly what that is. You don't know what it is. You think you know what it is. That's a warning shot. That's showing you when something happens in New York City, basically the capital of America. This is basically the capital of America. When you see something like that happens, that's a warning shot from God. Now you got 1 million deaths of COVID. You can't spiritually see that either, can you? You're not on my level. That's for witches, warlocks, psychics, and telepaths. Because if you were so good with what you do, how come you ain't tell the country 40 states is having sex with children? How come you didn't tell them 12 states marries children? How come you didn't tell the country America has the lowest record, the world record for the lowest age of consent worldwide? How come you didn't tell nobody that? How come your vibration never brought that to pass? How come your vibration didn't draw that information? Because you're not as high ranking as you think you are. I am so high ranking, this information came to me. You're not there, okay? With all your little tricks, with all your little voodoo rituals, your baths, and all the stuff you do. You didn't know this. So you're in the dark, and I'm not. So who's more spiritually high ranking, me or you? I'm knowing something you don't know. You don't know it. I know it. that makes me more high ranking than you. It's common sense. Okay, now these black people, these black people that white people use, beware of it. Beware of it. I just want you to be aware, because they can be very, very, I'm keeping 100. They can be very, very dark skinned, and you just think that they're so beautiful and so African, and they hate you. They're working for white people, racist white people, specifically, and they're infiltrating you. Yeah, you didn't have eyes to see that, did you? Huh. Thought that was your brother, huh? Thought that was your sister. They ain't none of that. Those are infiltrators. Those are player haters and infiltrators used by the white man. And if you're not careful, you can lose letting your brother and sister come around you. So where are we in history? We're in history right now where you can't trust no color. And this is not a message of hate. This is not a message of not bringing unity or not wanting unity. It's being aware that America has many colors as an enemy. As a Christian, America has become your enemy. It's simple. They fought your brother. If they fight me, they fighting you. Right or wrong. They fight one of us, they fighting all of us. And if they fighting us, they fighting God. So they're the enemy. This ain't no game. You can't fight half of us and think it's all good. It don't work like that, partner. And even if that was your perspective, God ain't having that. You fight us, you fight God, buddy. You can't separate us from God. I know you would like to. In a perfect world, you would like to separate us from God. It's not going to happen. You fight us, you fight God. Plain and simple. And that's why you got 1 million deaths. That's why you dying like you're dying, because you fighting God. God doesn't play, and God is loyal. He is very loyal. More loyal than a lot of these Christians in your family. God rides with you to the end. I have to admit, my Lord has been with me this whole time. And he's taking care of it. That's why I dare anybody to jump. I dare you to jump. We'll end this today. Because if you think this is going to change, you got another thing coming. You got a whole nother thing coming. Nothing's going to change. It's not going to get better. And I'm not a pessimist. I don't know if I consider myself an optimist. I'm a realist. A realist doesn't try to be anything. Reality is reality, and what is what it is, and what is going to be is based on spiritual things and the outcomes, and we put it all together, and we can accurately tell you what's going to happen to the best of our spiritual ability. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat anything. That's what these Americans try to do. You try to be positive. You're so positive, you're ignoring reality. I'm not that type of positive. You're just so positive and so sweet, you can't even see what's going on. The sky's falling. Then you got some people so pessimistic, you can't win. I'm winning. That's how you know I'm positive. That's how you know I got a sense of optimism, I guess you could say, because I'm winning. Okay? I'm not giving up. So what that tells you? I can't be a pessimistic person because I'm winning and I'm not giving up. These people playing games and trigger games, that don't mean nothing. Triggering me doesn't mean nothing. You know how high ranking I am spiritually? A trigger? Are you seriously? That was us 5, 6, 7 years ago. You way beyond. We 6, 7 years beyond some little triggers you doing. See, you want to be like us, but you don't want to pay the price that we pay spiritually. You could never be us. You could try to you could be like these scientists try to make. You could be synthetic, and you can make synthetic versions of who we are. It's God is. You talk about spirituality and God. You can't make any synthetic versions of us. You're going to leave something out, and you left a lot out. So that little stuff, triggers and stuff that you do, sound campaigns, reversing of cars, making beeping sounds, and all the little things, knocking around, banging on doors and windows, and whatever you do, banging on floors. Those are triggers that I have graduated from. We in war, buddy. That little stuff you're doing, we don't care nothing about. Long as you still dying, that's all we care about. We in war. And you need to be aware that in the fall of America, the black people are against each other. There's no unity. With a fallen America, there's no unity. Okay? That's reality. It's not about being pessimistic, not optimistic. There is no unity here. Democrats, Republicans, there's no unity. Democrats among themselves, there's no unity. Republicans among themselves, there's no unity. There's no unity among blacks. There's no unity among any color. They may hide it. Ain't no color here unified. This is the end of times. What you expect us to be unified in the last while the sky's falling? You expect black people to be together while everything is falling apart? Come on, man, you need to wake up. They're working against you, black people. Yes, black people are working against you, using voodoo. Those are black people. Black people using voodoo, Mexican and other Latino, Hispanic using Santeria against you. Like we don't know about that. Yeah, I know about it all, buddy. Santeria, hoodoo, voodoo, I know about all of that. But it doesn't work on me because I'm too spiritually high ranking. I'm covered in the blood of Jesus. You can't touch me with that foolishness. But I'm aware of it, unlike many Christians. A lot of Christians are not aware of it. And once I'm aware of it, it's ineffective. It works on people who are not aware. I'm aware of you using it all around the sidewalks, all around the neighborhood, inside the apartment buildings, in the neighborhood, all around the city, all even on the phones and through the media, social medias. I'm aware of all of that. It doesn't work with me because I'm too aware. First of all, I'm too aware. My spiritual sights are too keen and accurate and strong and high ranking. Okay? So I'm just letting you know, none of that foolishness works for me. And it comes back on you. All witches know that. What you put out will come back. If it's somebody high ranking, it's going to come back and it's going to stick. And you're going to pay for what you put out. And I don't care what you do or how you do it. You mess around with the wrong person, you could be a witch, you could be a warlock. You mess around with the wrong person, you out of here. And ain't nobody can help you, and that's it. Arrivederci. Hola. Adios. Adios, buddy. So, be aware of specifically the black hounds, and I'm not saying they're animals, but they act like animals. The black hounds, African American hounds that are used by specifically racist white people, not government. They do use them, obviously. They have black people in the government. They have military. Military, they have black people too. Police too. They're going to use black undercover officers to go in black neighborhoods. Obviously, we knew that. They use black undercover cops to go in black neighborhoods. They've been using black people against black people for a very long time. This is not new based on that, what I just told you just there. But you didn't really think about the white supremacists. They have black people too that are basically submitted to them in this subhuman fashion to do whatever they want them to do, to carry out their operations against black people, black leaders like me, whistleblowers. They use black infiltrators, even African ones, straight from Africa. They'll use them too. And you have to be aware of that because black people just open their heart to each other. I don't do that anymore. I don't do that. I don't just open my heart to just because you black, I just open my heart to you. I don't do that anymore. I used to do that. I don't do that anymore. That's how a lot of y'all got infiltrated in the first place. That's how you can't explain how people know stuff about you and it shows up in the operations of your enemies. Because you've been letting people infiltrate you of your same tribe, of your same color. They've been using black people that look just like you to infiltrate you. That makes sense. You might not be too trusting of someone of another color, of another feather. So they use people of your feather, of your flock. And so when you're aware of that, gotcha. You move differently and adjust accordingly. So don't be infiltrated by any of these people that act like they black people and you think they cool with you and everything. No, you need to weed them out. You need to screen them before you let them in your life, because that's what these white supremacists are even using them.